Let's talk about Rashid Shaheed really quick. Getting traded from the New Orleans Saints, speaking of, to the Seattle Seahawks for the price of I had it up and now I don't. Okay, the Seahawks are sending
it's a
a
4 and a 5.
fourth
Yeah.
round and a fifth round pick to the Saints in exchange for Rashid Shaheed, whose contract is expiring this offseason. So you're trading assets for him, and then you're going to have to sign him this offseason. But for Seattle, this is another team that is absolutely all in, and they were already, Dalton, we have talked about this. Sam Darnold has been one of the best explosive passers in the league this year, with Jackson Smith and Jigba, Torrey Horton coming along, the tight ends, when Cooper Kupp has been out there, certainly. But this is just another weapon to be able to continue to attack deep down the field. It forces you to just cover every single blade of grass, if you will, 40, 50, 60 yards down the field when you have a player with his kind of explosiveness. So I love the move for the Seahawks, even if it is like a rental and maybe you can't sign him after this season. You're going all in as well. And then for the Saints, obviously, if you weren't going to re-sign this player, getting something for him is good on their end. But I love it for Seattle.
I love it for both teams, actually. For the Saints to get 2 draft picks, a 4th and a 5th for a guy on an expiring contract that they were not going to re-sign. I think that's an excellent move for the Saints. And you mentioned the big thing for Shaheed, I think there, with Darnold as the fit and the deep passing prowess he's shown. Look, first of all, Darnold's leading the league in passing grade. He's leading the league in big-time throws, and he's leading the league among guys with 100 attempts and average depth of target. This Seattle team, they want to get in heavy personnel, but they still want to attack downfield. And keep in mind, where was Clint Kubiak last year? In New Orleans. When Rashid Shaheed was healthy, they were dropping bombs to him deep down the field off of play action. Shaheed is going to have no issue sliding right into this system right away. I know, look, Torrey Horton is emerging, and he's a similar type player, deep threat, fast, punt returner, all of that. But the fact that you now have multiple threats like that, and they're using Jackson Smith and Jigba downfield more often, they are leaning fully into more threats in this vertical passing game. And if you want to keep playing a single high, even though we have 2 tight ends on the field, we're going to throw it over your head until you don't and until you back off. So you know what? If you don't want us to run the football, fine, but we have Shaheed, we've got Smith and Jigba, we've got Torrey Horton, we've got Cooper Kupp, who will be back. He says he's obviously more of an underneath threat than those guys, but you need that. And you still have 2 really darn good tight ends in A.J. Barner and Elijah Royal. They're leaning into Sam Darnold. It almost makes me wonder if they didn't even expect Darnold to be this good, but with him throwing the ball vertically as well as he is, Shaheed's a perfect fit. And honestly, with his familiarity with Kubiak, it should take him no time to get acclimated at all to this system.
Yeah, I love the deal. I really do. The familiarity part of it makes too much sense to me with what Kubiak was able to do with him last year. I'm looking this up now. This year alone, Rashid Shaheed has a 77.1 receiving grade when he is targeted 20 or more yards down the field. And then when you look at last year, it was an 85.7. So the guy has just been one of the more reliable, explosive wide receivers in the NFL over the last couple of seasons. And certainly last year when Clint Kubiak was there, it was great for them. For the Saints, obviously, you're in a situation where the team's no good. You need draft picks. You have to get a lot younger. You've got to reset in ways. And if this was not a player that you were going to prioritize because Chris Olave is up for a contract extension as well, you likely weren't going to bring both of these guys back. Getting something for him was smart here at the deadline. So to me, love this landing spot. Love this landing spot for Rashid Shaheed. To me, it makes a ton of sense. This, Buffalo was in the conversation as well. I heard people talk about the Steelers as a potential spot, but I always felt as if, an offense that was willing to be more vertical. I didn't know how much the Seahawks were going to get involved for a wide receiver specifically because of how Torrey Horton has been coming along. But man, very clearly, they don't want any excuse. Injuries can sometimes happen in the second half of the season as well, and they want to make sure that the guys that they can throw to are going to be reliable, explosive, dynamic, and it's going to give them the ability to light up the scoreboard. As long as Sam Darnold is playing confident, they did not want there to be any doubt that who was on the opposite end of those passes could get it done from. So love this trade for Seattle, and obviously I like it for the Saints to be able to get something.